Hey everyone, this is Jack. This is going to be a quick bar by bar review for today's price action on the S&P 500 futures contract. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2026. That's the chart markup. You can pause the video there if you want to read it. See my thoughts for the day put to words and setups that I thought were reasonable to place trades with. So the market is in a strong bull trend. We had a bull channel here, and we're getting a bull breakout of that bull channel. It's likely to fail. It's likely to pull back, and that's what we got yesterday. Here's what we see from yesterday's point of view. Yesterday was a bear bar that tested into the range of the prior day, but failed to get to the low and break out below, and we have a close just below the midpoint of the bar. So looking at the daily chart, it's likely that the bears are going to try to trigger the short. That means that we're either going to gap down or we're going to try to sell off on the open to trigger the short. At least that's what the bears want. The bears see this as a climactic bull breakout where the bulls are taking profits and bears are initiating short positions. But for the bulls, they see this as a very strong bull trend, and this is a very strong bull breakout that's likely to get follow through despite the initial bad follow through. So if we do gap down or try to sell off on the open, we'll probably find buyers below the low for that reason, and probably buyers inside of the gap here. So that's probably what's likely heading into the day. Obviously, we had a gap up. 316, roughly about the same. Okay. And here's the day. So let's look at the 5-minute chart. Let me make the bars a little bit bigger so that they are easier for you to see. All right, so bar one. Here's bar one. We've got a big gap up. It's big because it's about half an average day's range. And because it's big and about half an average day's range, we can probably get a brief trend up or down in either direction. But I think it's likely that whatever trend we get will not get very far before we try to do the opposite, because we've already moved about half an average day's range. So that means we only need to move another half average day's range for the market to move a full day's range. And so therefore it will be difficult to make a trend last in either direction all day. There will probably be some hesitation along the way. We might create a channel or a trading range instead. Big bull bar, strong close, probably always in long, probably going at least a little bit higher. Bar two, almost outside down, but testing the open of the day. Pretty decent bar, but the tail above and below makes me think probably buyers below either of these bars, and we're probably going to try to rally here. Probably sellers above for a tight trading range open. New low of the day, we have a tight trading range open and possibly an expanding triangle, so there may be sellers above 2. But this is a very strong buy signal bar. It's closing above the close of 1, so it's likely that we're going to try to trigger the buy and go above 2, maybe to find sellers, but we might need to go up and test yesterday's high, which is this dotted green line, or the Globex range high, which is not far above either. So probably always in long. We're on a double bottom, an expanding triangle bottom, and we're probably going to go at least a little bit higher. Bar 4 is a surprise bull breakout. It's a big bar, tail above, but so it could be a climax, but bar 3 and 4 is a very large distance, and that is likely to lead to a pullback and a second leg up. So always in long, probably okay to buy the close. Better to think about buying the pullback. We're probably going to pull back and try to test the gap between the 2 high and the 4 close. Bad follow through initially, but a weak sell, so probably buyers not far below. It's a doji, it's a bear bar. We went above 4 and found sellers. So that tells you that probably bulls are taking profits at new highs, but probably bulls are sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy pullbacks like this. Bar 6, good follow through. We had a pause on bar 5, so this is a second leg up. We'll probably find profit taking here, and we'll probably start to pull back. I imagine we test near the high of 5 or down into the range and low of 6 possibly. This looks good. So far, we've got a bull trend on the open, but there are problems. We have a lot of overlap here, and we have a lot of overlap here, but we have a very strong close and breakout with 6, and we have a very strong close and breakout with 4. So it's very likely that we'll continue to go higher, but I think that we'll probably start to pull back here. Bar 7 pulled back and channeled higher, tail above and below. Probably profit taking not far above, but I imagine we still go higher, probably buyers below. Inside bar and bear bar on 8, but a weak close, closing above the Globex high. I think that's an important sign of strength. Probably buyers not far below and probably still going sideways to up here. Buyers below 8, no surprise, but now a micro double top with 7. Probably sellers somewhere above, but I imagine we go at least a little bit higher. 10, follow through, but closing at the 9 high. Why are we closing at the 9 high and not above the 9 high? That's because the bull trend is starting to weaken and we're starting to go sideways in a tight trading range and a broader bull channel, so probably we will find sellers not far above the 10 high, excuse me. Bar 11, bull bar, strong breakout. We've got a gap between the 10 high and the 11 close, but I think that gap will be tested. This is to me, I see a bull breakout of a small bull channel here. If you connect the high of 7 and the high of 10, this is a bull breakout of that small bull channel. Might not mean much, but to me, this is 3 clear pushes up. We have a push up on 4, 6, and now up here to 11. We're almost at the close of the first hour. The first opening reversal failed. Not a very good sell signal bar on 8. Not a very good sell signal bar here on 11. But it's still early enough in the day that this could form a high of the day and could lead to an opening reversal down, especially since we started to consolidate and go sideways around the Globex high. We might need to pull back and test this again because this is a tight trading range. We're getting a breakout and it's going to be hard to escape the magnetic pull of that tight trading range. So probably sellers not far above, still always in long, still a bull trend from the open, possibly a trending trading range bull trend day, or possibly a trading range day, and this could be just a swing up in that trading range day. So I would be careful being long up here. I would be looking to take profits on my longs very soon. Bar 12 is outside down, but why is the close at the 11 low and not below it? We broke out below 11 and we popped back up to the 11 low for the close of this bar. And that tells me that there were buyers below waiting to buy after this bar started turning down. And that pushed the market up to the 11 low. That's a sign of strength for the bulls, but obviously bar 12 is a big outside down bar. It's a large bar with a strong enough close that makes me think it's going to get follow through and will test down probably somewhere into the range of bar 8. Why bar 8? Because the close of bar 8 is a swing point on a line chart, and bar 8 closed just 1 tick or so above the Globex high. So I imagine we go at least a couple of points lower to test that price area. And we have trapped bears selling below bar 8. So there will probably be support down here at these lows. But if the bears are strong enough with this opening reversal down, we may go beyond those lows and we may test down into the range of 6. We've got another swing point here on 5, and we have an open gap between the 2 high and the 5 low that remains open. And if today is going to be a trading range day, we may test all the way down into that gap. So bar 12, probably going sideways to down. Follow through, no surprise. Strong close, but tail makes me think that we find buyers not far below. We're right around the bar 8 swing point, and we're not far away from the trap price for the bears. So probably we bounce. We're also at yesterday's high, the dotted green line. I imagine we go at least a little bit lower. Are we always in short? I don't think so. I don't think that this outside bar is strong enough to convince me that we're short, but we are temporarily short for at least a pullback. We probably go a little bit lower, probably sellers above 13. Probably we go at least a little bit lower. And then bar 14, we went lower, found support at looks like the 7 low, a little bit lower, and then reversed up with strength. Now we have something similar to 12 happening here for the bulls, but 14, the difference here is 14 is a lot stronger. We have a close that is closing well above the 13 high. So if you're a bear and you were flat and you saw this reversal up and you got short above 13, now you're short with 14 closing on its high. It's very likely that this bar will lead to a new high of the day, or at least a test up near the 11 high close, to let out the buy the close bulls who are long, disappointed with this, buying more lower, hoping to get out without a loss. But 14 has a lot of overlap with 13, so it's very likely that we'll find sellers somewhere above. I think that 12, 13, and 14 is a very large distance down, and that represents a lot of strength by the bears. So as strong as 14 is, and as good as a double bottom as we have, the low close on 8, the low close on 13 is a double bottom on a line chart. The swing point here on 9 and the swing point possibly forming on 14 is a decent enough double bottom with a very strong buy signal bar that's large with a very strong close. It's a high probability scalp long. It's okay to buy, but I think the bears get a second leg down from 12, so I'd be quick to get out if we start to go sideways. Bar 15, probably going a little bit higher, but why is this bar small and why does it have a tail below? And you can see we pulled back and let out the bears who were selling above 13. We have some overlap between that high and this low. That means that bears that are selling here were actually able to avoid a loss and get out and sell more. So probably more sellers above. Still always in long, probably going at least a little bit higher. 16, almost a new high of the day, not quite there, but doji bar, and closing below the low close or the high close on 11. So I imagine we start to find sellers above and we start to go sideways to down, but still always in long, and probably buyers below these lows realistically. Unless the bears are surprisingly strong, we probably will have buyers below these lows. 17, high one buy, but near the top of a range on what could be a trading range day or a trending trading range day. So probably sellers not far above, probably okay for a very quick scalp, but you got to be quick to make decisions when it turns down like bar 18. Strong enough sell signal, I imagine it triggers and gets some follow through, but follow through might be initially disappointing. We have 5 consecutive bars up without a lower low. So the odds of the first breakout getting follow through without pulling back first, not very good. We might need a better double top. We do have a double top, the high close of 19 and the high close of 11, and a strong sell signal bar, so you will find bears shorting. So it's an okay short, but it's not great. Doji, we let out the trapped bulls who were buying the high 1 and reversed down. Not a very strong sell, but decent enough context for a little bit more down. But we may find buyers here and bounce before we go lower. Sellers above 19, no surprise, it's a tight trading range, also near the high of the day. We have this kind of triangle trend line that looks like we tested and reversed down from. So okay to sell it during 20. Strong enough close makes me think we're going to go at least down to the low close on 13, maybe all the way down to the low on 14 if the bears can find enough strength. But we may pull back here. We have another tight trading range here. It's going to be hard to escape that magnetic pull, but we do have good enough context that bears are going to be selling here. We have a small gap between that low and this high, but we have a tail in this bar, and we have a tail because we're trying to bounce. We're trying to form another double bottom here. And if we start to turn up, it's very likely that we'll run back up into this area. But so far, the sell-off is decent. We might get another push down before we try to bottom. We have a close that's far enough below 20 that makes me think that bulls buying here are going to be pretty disappointed, so we may pull back more and go a little bit more down. And instead, we race lower. We make a lower low below 14, and then we reverse up from a test of the moving average. So maybe we go a little bit lower here, but this is starting to look like another possible double bottom. We do have a slightly lower close over here, but if we start to turn up, that'll turn into a swing point, and we're below another swing point here. We're still always in long. I don't know that this is enough to put the market short, and I think we do retrace some of this bar and go at least a little bit lower. But I would be very cautious here about being short, and I would definitely start thinking about buying here. So 23, we tried to go a little bit lower, but we found a lot of buyers, and we broke out above 22. Probably sellers somewhere above, but it looks like sellers above 21, the first pullback after that bear breakout. We do have a wedge bull flag, and we do have another double bottom here. So it's very likely there will be buyers below this low and possibly buyers at this close. You could look at the rally from 22 low to 23 high as a bull breakout, and this may end up being a pullback in that breakout. So there may be buyers at the close, but probably definitely buyers below the bar. For a trading range, it looks like the range is more defined now, the 14 low, the 12 high. We'll probably keep doing this for most of the day, and we might channel higher or lower depending on which side of the market is stronger. So far, fairly balanced, but I think bulls overall stronger on the day, so probably going up. 24, strong bull bar, but inside bar near the high of this small range. So you've got to be careful buying here, but okay to think about buying long. We broke out and found buyers below 24 and reversed up. So now we have another tight trading range here. I imagine we go up to the high close on 17, or maybe the trap price for the bulls buying above the bad doji on 19. And still always in long. Now we have a better looking double bottom here. So probably going at least a little bit higher. 26, good breakout, but a tight trading range here for the last few bars. We probably need to pull back and test it. We also have that trend line earlier from the triangle. So probably we start to pull back here. 27, bear bar, bit of a surprise, closing far enough below 26 that makes me think we'll get some follow through. But something just doesn't look quite right with 27. It looks a bit climactic. We have a big tail here. And there's probably buyers down here. We have trapped bears selling below 24, probably looking for whatever pullback we get to get out of their losing positions. We're still above the moving average. Yes, we're in a trading range, but we might be forming a broad bull channel as well. We do have lower highs, but we also have higher lows. So probably sideways to down. 28, pulled back and tested the high close of 26 and found sellers and pulled back. I imagine we have buyers below. We might get another leg down for 27, but I imagine buyers below. Pull back inside bar, testing near the low close. Looks like this low is 1450. That close, 1450 exactly, and we popped right back up. So I imagine buyers below, but probably still more sideways here. Sideways to down. Now we have two legs down and a nested two-legged move down. So double bottom, probably buyers not far below. Holding above the moving average. We have another little triangle here. Bull breakout, but tail. Probably we pull back, but I imagine we still go higher. 32. Trying to get to a new high of the day. Not quite there. Possible double top up here with 26 and with 17. But I imagine buyers below for at least another leg up. Buyers below 32. Probably sellers not far above the 32 high, but I imagine we have to get there to find them. Sideways here on 34. Probably buyers not far below. Too small of a sell signal, but possible double top. Not very good, but possible. I think too much buying pressure in here. As bad as it looks, the bears just don't have enough going for them yet. Now we have a small buy signal bar. It's a high 2 at the top of a trading range. We are in a broad bull channel here, but it's starting to look kind of wedgy. So I think if we do break out to the upside, I'd be quick to get out of longs and start thinking about selling. 36, a bit of a climax, closing at the 34 high. Why are we closing at that high and not above? A subtle sign of strength by the bears and a subtle sign of weakness by the bulls. So probably going a little bit higher, but I imagine we start to pull back here. 37, inside bar, maybe buyers below, but now we have a double top with 12 high and 36 high. And the 36 close is a double top with the 32 high. So if we start to turn down here, we could get a bear breakout. We're channeling lower. 38 broke out below and found buyers. I imagine we go at least a little bit lower. Probably buyers not far below for another test up. The bears just aren't doing enough to convince me that we're going to get a meaningful breakout down. And of course, we get a meaningful breakout down with 39. But 39, a bit climactic. We have a possible double bottom with the 30 swing point. We got trapped bears at that low, and we have a close right here. So we could try to bounce. Maybe we go a little bit lower, but bad follow through with 40. So now we have a higher low double bottom with either 27 or 30 swing points. The first close below the moving average of the day was bought aggressively. So probably we're going higher. But now we're in a trading range. 40 is a decent buy, but the problem is it's entirely overlapping 39. So probably we do go higher, but better to look to buy a pullback. Here's a pullback with 41, testing into the range of 40. Probably buyers not far below, but an okay scalp for a short, betting on a test of the low close 39 at a minimum. 42, 42, good entry bar, probably going at least a little bit lower. And then double bottom 39, reversing up strongly on 43. 43 back near the high of the range, so probably we pull back here, but still always in long and still in some sort of bull channel here, but high in a trading range as well. So probably sellers above. Small gap between the 42 high and 44 low. That makes buying below 44 a decent opportunity for bulls, betting on a bull channel. But high in the range, so probably sellers above 44. Good signal bar for a short, but bad context. A lot of overlap here, probably buyers not far below. And then 46 racing back up to the top of the range. Probably we go a little bit higher, but sellers above any of these highs. Channeling higher but weak. It's a doji, and why are we closing at the 44 high and not above it? So probably sellers not far above. 48 channeling higher. I imagine we pull back here. And then doji. We're running out of steam for the bulls. I imagine the bears will take over soon. We have a double top 36.48. Not a very good sell signal bar, but reasonable context. Outside down 50. I imagine it gets some follow through, but it might be disappointing. Bears might need to do more. Good entry bar. Strong close. I imagine we go at least a little bit lower. And then outside down, doji, bear bar. We might have a potential double bottom with the 45 swing point. So maybe buyers not far below. Traders initially bought the close of 51, so that tells me buyers not far below 52. Reversal up, not very good context, but probably we test up into the 52 range, but instead reversing down 54, tight trading range. Possible micro double bottom 52, so maybe buyers below 54. We got a double bottom on the 45 swing point, but not very good. And then surprise bull breakout, testing above 50, a new high of the day. So now we have a better looking wedge top with 12, 36, 50, and now another test up on 55. But it's a very big bull breakout, and this is likely a pullback for that big bull breakout. So maybe we pull back more, but I imagine we test back up into the range of this high. 56, a pullback, testing the line chart swing point on 53 and finding support right above the moving average, probably buyers below for a test up. And then 57 back up into the range of the tail of 55. I got to wrap up this review pretty soon. I got to go. Probably we go a little bit higher, but really not very good context here to be long. Probably sellers not far above. And then 58. Channeled higher, but sellers profit taking, probably buyers not far below. Doji, not good for either side of the market. A bad sell, but a reasonable sell. And then 60, bear breakout, but closing at the low, not below. Probably we go at least a little bit lower. And then outside down, better context for the bears here. Micro double top after a big climax. And an outside down bar with a strong close. Buyers below 60. But now they're trapped in an outside down bar, and buyers who were buying above 60 now trapped into a bad trade. So even if we pull back, I imagine sellers above. So okay to sell here, I think. Right at the moving average, dangerous, but reasonable context. I think we go at least a little bit lower, maybe to the 56 close, or maybe down here to the 54 close. And then bear breakout. Bears are picking up steam. Maybe a double bottom here with 54, but 4 consecutive bear bars. We've got we got buyers trapped above 61. Above 60. And we've got buyers below 60 trapped as well. So we could break out below 53 and test down into the 42, 40 area. And that's exactly what we're doing here. 64 is racing down. We have a small tail. Maybe we pull back. I imagine we go a little bit lower. If I'm short, I'm definitely thinking about taking profits on my shorts. I think we have strong buyers below 40 and 43. So probably going at least a little bit lower. But I imagine we bounce soon. We have a parabolic wedge down. Now we have a double bottom possible with 27. Maybe we're going lower to let out the trapped bears. Actually, it looks like we did that here. So the low of this bar did reach this low and let out the trapped bears. And that's probably why we popped back up and closed above or at the Globex high. That's another thing. Why are we closing at or above the Globex high and not below it? I think that's a subtle sign of strength by the bulls, and I think that it's very likely that we're going to bounce soon. So if I'm short, I'm definitely taking profits here. We channeled lower, but now we have a climactic bear breakout and pullback. I imagine that this is the end of the parabolic wedge. We also have a double bottom. And look at that. This low is 407.50, and this low is 407.25. So we are one tick above that low, and we reversed up pretty strongly. And that is another sign of buying pressure. So I would definitely be flat and thinking about buying here for a double bottom. Reversal up, probably sellers above for at least a scalp, maybe another leg down. But this is a pretty big move up, and this is a pretty decent looking bull bar, so I imagine buyers below. 68, bit of a climax, so I imagine we pull back here, but reasonable reversal up. Probably buyers below 68. Doji, sellers above and buyers below 68 and 70. That means 3 pushes up to the moving average. I imagine that the bears try to take over here and get a leg down. Reversal down, good enough close, probably get some follow through, and then 72, bit of a climax. I imagine we bounce below 72. 73, tight trading range. I imagine sellers not far above. And 74, doji bull bar, closing above 73, a subtle sign of strength. I imagine we go at least a little bit higher. 75, bull bar, that's another 3 pushes up, so I imagine we pull back here. Oops. Excuse me there. 76, decent sell signal, but probably buyers not far below. And then 77, late in the day, better to let it go. 2 or 3 legs up here, probably sideways into the close. Sideways to up. Pretty interesting day overall. That's pretty much all the time that I've got. But yeah, the day overall was a trending trading range day. It was a broad bull channel for a lot of it. You could say it was a horizontal trading range day for the most part. The bears tried to get a reversal and turned the day into a bear reversal day, but they failed, and we formed a double bottom and rallied into the close. So that's the day. What do we do for Monday? Well, we have a small follow-through bar that's closing above yesterday's high. I imagine we pull back and test these higher lows and test down into the gap. I think the rally is pretty climactic. It's also a bull breakout of a bull channel, so that means it's likely to fail in a few bars, but the market is clearly always in long, clearly in a strong bull trend, so there will probably be buyers for whatever pullback we get. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.